you guys.
What's up, everybody?
Oh, it's here. You're lovely. I just wanted to take a second to continue the conversation about things people can do really quickly for energy. So everybody knows about the apple cider tonic vinegar drink, and it's really a corny recipe, but it really does work. It's a little nan-ass, but it really, really does work. So you just want to use, like, I'd say a little bit less than a cup of water. You want to squeeze a whole lemon in there. Put at least 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar, a dash of cayenne, and a little splash of olive oil, not even a half a teaspoon. Mix that bad boy up so it's not even a cup, right? A little less than a cup. If you want it to be more concentrated, swap out the water.
Right.
Just use the 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar, cayenne, olive oil, a dash of maple syrup makes it go down a lot easier. That's gonna work. What also is gonna work and do wonders, a lot of people forget about vitamin E. You could take 2 vitamin E tablets, 400 IEs, 2 tablets before you take a nap or go to sleep. When you wake up, it's like a natural caffeine boost.
Yep.
And it's really good for your skin. So that's the second thing you can do. Also, there's a lot of herbs you can start to take. What I'm gonna start to do is I'm gonna start with the letter A and just go through the alphabet of herbs and how we can use either herbs or something just straight out of our kitchen that we might have forgotten about. So today I'll think of, like, we'll go through astragalus root. Astragalus is a great herb. It's really, really dope for protection as well, like protection from feeling like drainage, energy drainage.
Like fatigue.
Yes, or like blockages if you feel like someone has put anything out there on you or is doing works. Astragalus root is great for energy and for cleansing and protection. So that's A. You can also take astragalus root, use a little bit in your tea. You can throw a little bit in your water, like how you do cucumbers or dill. You don't have to necessarily boil your herbs. You don't want to do that. You want to heat your water up and then throw a little bit, if it's powdered, into the top of whatever it is that's boiled already, and just cover it, let it steep through, drink that down. So I'd say astragalus root is very good. Also, anything else in the letter A. Allspice. A lot of people forget allspice and anise seeds. Anise is great for digestion. It's also really good for your crown chakra, your head chakra. Opens up, which is why I made the anise, star anise hair oil. Really, really good for your crown chakra, opening up, attracting wealth, attracting prosperity. Really good for dandruff, for dry scalp, and for your digestive system. So a lot of people will drink or do anise tea, anise seeds for a baby's colic, things like that. So thinking in terms of A, doing that today. Also, a friend of mine put me back on to, I kind of knew this, but I forgot because I don't practice stuff as much as I need to. So this is also going to teach us to practice a lot more usage of things. Back in the day, probably around 2001, when I did get my little doctorate in holistic medicine, there was a whole section where you just had to know the definitions and the purpose of each herb or certain herbs.
Right.
And I think at that time, I did so well, but you know how you memorize information to pass the test, but then you don't remember it a couple years later?
Right.
That's what happened. I don't remember that shit a couple years later. Like, I forgot I could stew asparagus. And asparagus, of course, great for kidney flushes, kidneys, all that good stuff. Uric acid, gallstones, gallbladder issues for women, but also really good for sexual energy for men. So if you want your man to have some virility in bed or to just keep his yang up,
Right.
asparagus. You can make an asparagus soup. Take your nice stalks, boil them down, blend it in a Vitamix blender, a little bit of cumin, a little bit of curry powder, some olive oil, some almond milk. That gives it a nice creamy almond milk, or you can do a little coconut milk. A little heavy with the coconut, but very, very good for sexual potency, for stamina. Also, a lot of people forget, after you boil your asparagus, just save the water and drink it. You can drink your asparagus water, very, very cleansing and good. So that's all A.
alfalfa?
Alfalfa's great. Alfalfa sprouts, alfalfa seeds. Alfalfa's great for, you know what? Alfalfa corners of the house as well for dispelling. Because there used to be brooms made of alfalfa back in the day, and it was good to sweep energy out. Get old out, bring in new. So alfalfa's great for vitamin A, B. You know, it's a very good little addition to your salads and all that. But there is a purpose behind alfalfa. I'll come back behind if I don't remember it. I think it has something to do with eyesight and clarity, seeing clear. Not positive, but same thing for allspice. Really, really, really dope for stimulating and cleansing the blood. A lot of people forget that. Blood cleanser. You can also use allspice, the little, I don't know if they still come in the little kernels that's kind of like peppercorns. Allspice, very, very good for getting rid of negativity. Anything peppery is great for expulsion, great for getting rid of. Cayenne, black pepper seeds, black corn pepper seeds. A lot of people back in the day used to also blacken their rice. The same thing as sweetened rice for when you're throwing ashes to people ceremonial. Like let's say you're getting married. You want to use a sweet rice to bring forth riches and add some jasmine to that. Add some corn flour, make it beautiful. You know, so much of what we do is based on how you do it and what you do. So a lot of stuff with herbs is really just, you know, figuring out ways to incorporate them into our lifestyle, into our skincare products, into our everyday living so that we can have a little longevity. Every medicine, everything that we take in stores, anything chemical based comes from something natural based. So it's real dope to take a look at that periodic table and think of every element, every compound actually comes from a whole source or comes from something nature derived. So that's just something that I wanted to think, and also just thank Asir for being a part of these little talks, because he could totally just be on his phone checking emails, which he does a lot of the times, but it's really nice to just take a second. And I'm telling you, this is literally the only second I have during the day. So when I bring my son to swim class, I know all the products have been sent out. All I really do at nighttime is prepare the butters and make everything for the day. It's kind of switched some stuff up as well because the volume is picked up a little bit. I'm trying to get everything done before like 3 at night so that in the morning everybody gets their stuff. Everything is on the truck, you know, really early for me. And it gives me time to create more and to figure out how to incorporate new stuff. So I'm really excited about the hair conditioner that's taken me a while to make. I wanted to find and make my own hair conditioner, and of course I added a nice root to it. You guys will see what it is, but you guys will have that on the market in not even a week. I'm gonna try to get that all out and packaged. But I just want to shout out the Spearmint Thyme hair oil, as well as the Halts right now has been doing some wonders, as well as the Virgo product. We're in the season of Virgo. So Virgo's dope, but what's really great about the Virgo is a lot of people forget, you can totally combine that with a little bit of the Cancer product, an Aquarius product, or a Pisces product to help ground and really just deal with that intuition. Why? The Lang Lang, along with some of the honeysuckle, along with just how the Virgo, there's some cardamom oil in there, as well as some lime, as well as, of course, our coffee. And that's made with the jojoba, the macadamia, the argan, the horsetail, and the, walnut. I knew it was another nut. The walnut oil. Walnut oil is so slept on. So is walnuts for protection. Walnuts are great for protection, literally for abundance. You could throw a walnut in your pocket during the day, or just put a walnut where you kind of want certain energy to not be brought into the home. So walnuts are great to grind, of course, for a little pumice for the face.
Right.
But I'm just gonna try to really think about how to make herbs more tangible. And what I noticed is that, you know, all of us that really do have like an affinity for nature and for herbs, you know, I don't want us to be thrown into that little, you know, magic bag, or it doesn't work No, these are principles and stuff that can work for everyone.
Right.
As you have an herb that might work in a medicinal way, it can also work for magic purposes, and it can also work just for cleansing one's spirit, keeping one's energy high. So I want to kind of go through each herb from A to Z, not even just herbs, but just different stuff that I've learned throughout time. And what, I'm 44, so I'm going to be 44. So I really want to use this year as a means to be grateful and to give back and to just, again, think of ways that we can expand these homespun remedies and allow each other to remember that we can use stuff in different ways by just how we use it, the practice. That's the ritual. You understand? It's not necessarily creating stuff that is to put a juju. I never really believed in anything like that, even though I know it's very real and true. What I believe is the power of protection, the power of love, and the power of abundance and drawing forth things that, of course, we want and that we hope to attract, whether it be success at a job or wealth from an interview or getting what you want. What I realize is a lot of people do stuff to try to get what they want, right? But what is your intent behind what it is you want to get, number one? And number two, does it involve anybody else? How many things are we creating that involve other people in what it is we want? So trying to minimize that list, the things that we want or the things that you want to get, let's pay attention. Does it involve a whole bunch of other energy and people, or can we attain these things on our own? So a lot of the protection work that I'm really into is really kind of to protect if anybody is sending or doing anything to kind of put a doubt or to put a little obstacle, a little wedge, anything in front of a prosperous road. So to constantly keep your path clean, to make sure that you're not entertaining energy that might be a blockage to certain abundance in your life, like entertaining a family member that loves you but only loves in really toxic manipulation, do this for me and then this will work for you type way. To figure out how to separate from that as well. So we're 12 minutes in. I just wanted to stop off and say that that's definitely something I want to share more of. And I'm very grateful that that's been literally my last year was, okay, I got to face certain fears and get this foot surgery and do things before my 44th birthday so that when I do turn 44, I can be in a state of just gratitude and equality and balance and not feeling as though I needed to have my bone spur shaved down or anything like that. So now that all that, I face all those fears of, having surgery and going under the knife. I don't think that people would have those fears unless they saw something happen to someone at the hospital, but that was my exact experience. So losing my mom to over anesthetizing and, before she had surgery, certain things took place to try to cover the fact that she was put into a coma or, her lungs. She stopped breathing before the surgery took place. And I think just based on that malpractice suit, it just really allowed me to value my life and to say, things happen every day to everybody. But as everybody's learning with this whole COVID, experience, that life is so fickle and that it is something to be grateful for and to really celebrate. I don't think that I would have had certain reservations about being trusting with certain incidents, hospitalization or not. So again, that kind of at 19 really inspired me to get my doctorate in holistic science, to think of ways to heal without using pharmaceuticals or drugs, and to be of service to people like my sister and to people mentally that might have had a different shift after loss. Because again, losing someone can take a toll on you emotionally as well as psychologically if you don't really know how to process the energy. So if I can be of service in any ways to allow people to also realize that grieving is very normal and natural, but it should not take place over a certain amount of time. And if you start noticing your loved ones not being able to move on, what can we do to allow them an easier transition? That's all we can really ask for, is for us to share in ways that the difficult transitions can be made a lot more smooth and easy. So again, there's agrimony, there's So many different herbs. I'm gonna try to hit more on the A's. Excuse me. I'll do that tonight. You hear me, right? And that comes from drinking ginger. And I did my green juice today. Kale, you know, spinach, some carrots. I did celery. And then I threw a half apple in there just to make it a little juicier and a little sweet. But, you know, again, juicing, making our infused teas. What can we do to really stimulate good flora in our livers and kidneys and keep us out of the hospital? So much love, much more. Thanks to everybody that supported. Again, Virgo's out right now. All of the astrological butters and washes are available all year round. And really excited for the hair magic, the musical hairs, the Rosemary's Baby with the anise and the hibiscus herbal hair oil. Why they have over 14 different herbs and different oils in them. Why I don't necessarily just like using one carrier oil. I don't think that it holds and it lasts as well as other things. And again, certain things that we use are more activated when we combine them with different herbs. So just not skipping those heating processes and being very grateful for, you know, some people are like, oh, you don't have a storefront, you don't have a factory. No, because it's not something that I could maintain with the budget that I started with, which was just my own savings. I've never had a GoFundMe, and these are things that I'm very proud of because I never wanted to ask anything of you guys before at least being able to give back and to create a line of course, 50, 60 plus products, but also say to myself, what can I do with the little that I have? And so that's how I started. So no, I still work by myself just because I notice I get a lot more done. Well, not skipping certain steps. And I don't have a huge home to be able to have like trainees in, you know, when I'm walking around in my sweats with my little tank top on and my hair all wrapped up and my hazmat. I'm very particular with how things get done in my house. Just because now that I have cats, I like keeping them in a separate place. And opening up my space to train anybody, you want to have more space in that. So shout outs to all those with factories and stores, and shout outs to those that have found great success and a great peace of mind with saying, hey, I might not be able to have all that or pay for all that, because again, what I'm doing is hopefully to create a way for my son to be sustained when he's a little bit older. And, you know, like myself, and losing a parent right at the end of my teenage years, that's when I realized I didn't really have any fallback, any savings, anything for anyone to help me accomplish certain dreams. And it took me a lot longer to get those dreams accomplished and to focus on discharging debt, college debt, and, you know, all the adult responsibilities. That transition was a lot more difficult just in not having any adult wisdom to help me through those times. So now that I'm 45, trying to think of ways to not just rely on, you know, Social Security when I'm 60 plus, and rely on a job. If I am not willing to cut my hair or make certain changes, I have to also figure out a way in which to save and to have certain things set up so that when I do reach that age of, okay, my arthritis might be kicking in at 65 plus, I can take some time off and be able to be out of paying rent. I'm still in a space of looking to attain all that. So shout outs to all those that have houses and mortgages and have done those committed things as adults. Not all of us were able to jump in like that. So for me to take my time and know why I am, again, to enjoy your journey and to not put yourself on anybody else's trajectory, or to say, well, this is happening for them at this time, so this what should be happening for me. We all get there at our own, you know, due time. So thank you to everyone that's ever supported Cordoba Organics, and that's just spreading the news about the non-shea butter, really intensive herb line of stuff that really heals skin polyps and uneven skin and keloids and hypertrophic scars and hair loss and alopecia and anxiety and depression and, you know, inconsistent eating habits. all of the things that we put onto our skin really are digestible and are absorbed into our organs and through our skin, which is of course the largest one. But rather than taking it all that, I'm really trying to think of ways to make this so friendly for everybody to start using and saying, wow, I tried this, that, and the third, and I also found the joy in using this and seeing the consistency in what happened with my skin by not using something that's preserved or that's, you know, mass marketed. So thank you to everyone. I know class is done now, and I love you all. Thank you guys for supporting my husband, Asir the Duke of Tears, and thank you for just being patient with all the emails. My main focus is getting everybody's product out in 1 to 3, 3 to 4, 3 to 5 days with that free sample, with those free lip glosses, with those personalized emails. And that's a huge, you know, job because they're not just cut and pasted emails. They're things that I really do like, you know, typing in each individual's name. To me, that's an ashe, and it's a way to really be grateful and give back and let people know, even if they don't look, it's something that I can personalize and say, look, I really appreciate you just trusting in the ingredients and in the journey. So again, CordobaOrganics.com. Thank you to everyone. Went through a couple of the A's. I'll touch on some more, and we'll come back. I'll definitely do some more with B's a little bit later. Much love.